Right, nyame adoma Saturday abato chinchirinche a eba so MPP amonyokuo mu ama enei a team of analysts a nimdie efa amonyosem ho aka bom etimi aya analysis bi ahead of the elections a eba so a enya asem ketua Professor Kobi Mensa eka ho bi Dr. Isaac Boakon enso eka ho bi afi Dr. Tutu Buahin any other host of intelligent professionals are eba monyosem any politics are omoye fantastic aya analysis on the elections are eba so na yenji bre na yenkohwe nsem omode atudwa how omosi analyze elections are eba so no anyhow a ebesi akọ na yenso yemfa your comment and to comment say.
Firstly, if you want to look at what leader do you want or must be looked at, of course, in the market, you want to look at your attributes in comparison with your competitors' attributes. Yeah. And that's how we position ourselves in the market. You always want to make sure that you have a much more compelling attributes over your competitor. And so you do what we call competitor analysis, or you do your marketing or market analysis, and you take into consideration your competitors' offerings in order that you can position yourself. So if you bring that into the political market, similarly, the political party want to look at its offerings. And then, of course, it would not be only the leader, your programs or your policies, in addition to the party itself. I mean, we had extensively said that the political market has at least three political elements: the candidate, the policy, and then, of course, the party. However, this conversation is about the leader. And so you have to firstly do an analysis of the competition, in order that you could, position yourself well. Mm-hmm. And so first, I think that the current NDC administration has made us understand that the status quo is not enough. Now, the NDC administration has come up with a new template of measuring leadership traits. And I think largely one would be discipline. If you look at the current leadership of the NDC, discipline is at the heart of whatever they're doing. If you ask the president, he will tell you he probably is doing much more different from his previous experiences and then from the previous administration. And at the heart of it is discipline. So you want someone who will be disciplined enough to follow through what they have said they would do in terms of coming to the office, and have the necessary discipline, disciplinary character to ensure that its appointees or the followers of that particular government is also doing the same. And so I think that discipline is one. The next I would say would be innovativeness. You realize that the president coming to office has said that he would use 3 months to set up his government. I don't think that we had ever experienced that before. And so that's innovative. Now, in the past, it's taken governments almost a year to set up their government. It's taken, parties that actually win elections about a year plus. Sometimes it even goes beyond that. They hadn't actually, done that. Again, the president said that he was going to govern with 60 people. Many people thought that it was not possible because we hadn't actually experienced that before, yet he did it. And some are even arguing that it's now about 58. He hadn't even gone to the 60 yet. Yeah. And again, that is innovation. Yeah. So you have discipline, you have innovation, but also you would have efficiency, someone who speaks about doing things, right, the first time. You realize that, the way that the government is being run, no frivolousness, people are even complaining about budgets, etc. The government is being run on a very lean, form, but highly efficient. And so, someone who speaks about discipline, who speaks about innovation, and who speaks about efficiency. But not only speaking about that, but showing evidence. I have said that it is difficult for successive, power seekers to really convince the voter. Why? Because not only that we have heard, but we have seen, what it means by working with only few people in government and delivering results. We have seen it. We have felt it. And of course, it had embedded that, or we have actually consumed that, or we have immersed that into our memory. And so if you come to tell us that you can do this without showing us a very compelling evidence of possibility of you doing it, I think it will be difficult for Ghanaians to actually, be convinced about that. So it's a very tall order, but of course it's doable. If President Mahama had been able to do it, of course someone else can do it, but of course it would take a lot more discipline and a lot more persuasiveness to really convince the Ghanaian people that indeed you can do that.
All right, Prof. Let's watch it from this way. That I have 5 contestants contesting to become a flag bearer. I mean, they are all disciplined. They are saying that they are disciplined, and I'm watching them speaking. How me as a layman, how do I determine that this man is a discipline among them all, so that I have to vote for that person? How do I determine that?
I mean, as I mentioned, is in 2 forms. One, it could be a track record, because as especially as a lecturer, when I'm teaching and I'm setting examples, I might use a historical data to show evidence. And so evidence can be in a track record form, telling the people or the voters what you have done in the past, but also, articulating specifically the disciplinary aspect or the disciplinary aspect of what you have done in the past, in order to paint that picture of, saying that, you can be a disciplined person. But also you have to simulate, or you can simulate, in teaching or in pedagogy as part of demonstrating evidence, all right? And by simulation, I mean, can you actually give us a real-time experience, not the practical ones as you have been in government, because you are not in government, you are in opposition. But can you really do a simulation for us to be able to tell that indeed you are actually a disciplinarian, or you could actually have that measure? And usually you could do the simulation using real people. You can say that you are appointing ABCD people, where those ABCD people are actually attestation that indeed, if you say you're going to go for that person, indeed that speaks to a disciplinary character, which means that those individuals are currently in operation, are currently in practice, are currently doing things that people could attest that indeed they are of a disciplinary character. So you probably can use these tools to indicate, to simulate, or to show as an example of what people should hold on to you as a disciplinary person.
I see. So, you heard my preamble, I was saying that judging from the economic indicators before the elections, the inflation was 21.3%, now it's 5.4. Before the election, the food inflation was 21%, 21.0. Now it's a 6.6. Before the election, the dollar was 14.7. Now it's a 10.63. Before the election, the transportation, that the transport fare we have now is unlike, it's now 15% slashed and all that. Premium fuel has been slashed by 16% and all that. So I'm saying that you as a political marketer and a lecturer, what do you think that an NPP should do to have a comeback that will shock this country? Because some people been asking themselves silently that how would they come to power? So if you are to advise them, apart from the discipline talking about, what else do you think that they should do in order to win the confidence of this people of this country?
Now, that's a point of consultancy. I mean, I've given you the framework. You know, if they want to know specifically what they have to do, they have to consult. You know, but I've given you the framework. I've said to you that, one, your track record. Obviously, from what you're saying, they couldn't fall on their track record because obviously it doesn't actually look like it's a very good one to cite as an example. But they can simulate, you know, they can do a simulation of referring to some kinds of people who could really work in the government. And those people must be a characterization of that values or of that attribute that, you know, they could actually, you know, refer to and would look as though they are indeed saying the right things by Ghanaians. And I'll give you a typical example. I remember those days, all right, if you, I don't think that by then you were of age, or you had even been born, maybe, because you look too young. You know, if you look at the former the economist who once was touted as the best NPP leader that didn't actually get the opportunity to contest, all right? The name has escaped me a little bit, but he was not Asafo Mafo, the economist who was recently at the teachers' conference with President, you know, President Mahama. You know, when we were growing up.
Okay.
Kwame Pianim.
Yeah,
Kwame
Pianim. Sorry, Kwame Pianim.
Yeah, Kwame Pianim was Kufuor's,
the chief of staff. The chief of staff. Yes, sir. Okay.
Yeah, you know, Kwame Pianim. Growing up, he was an example of a simulated president. All right, people knew him to be that he would be one of the best presidents because at the time his credentials spoke to that. That was a simulation. Of course, because of one or two, you know, political things, he couldn't be the leader of the MPP. But people had the understanding that he was a president in waiting. And that's what I mean by making references to characters that could simulate the values that you're talking about. So in political marketing, you don't use only track records, but you can also do a predictive, you know, what do you call, system, or you can use a predictive simulation to tell people that indeed you mean what you're saying by making those references, all right? And that's what I mean. But of course, if they want to elaborate, they have to consult me. And then, you know, or they have to consult, you know, or they have to consult the panelists who are here, you know, smart or, and I'm sure we can give them the strategies to win.
All right. Prof, I know your time. Please don't go. Be with me just a few minutes. Let me switch and go to Dr. Ay3hu Bernard. Then I will come back to you. Doc, I was say, dear Kone, we have just 4 days away to the D-Day, that the early Congress, there are people fought over it. The early Congress that some of the New Patriotic Party people didn't want it to be happened. Now it is coming on. Baby Ayababudi, the economic indicators stays here. What should the gap between NPP and NDC? The 6%, 41 and 57, blah 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 blah. Sometimes people call me, they are NPP people, and they said that silently they ask themselves that if it could be possible for them to come back to power. Usha Sanoma we say Munana. A dear leader now he said New Patriotic Party yes here. I'll bet me and they override that deficit to come back to power in 2028.
All right, good afternoon to you.
Yeah, good afternoon, sir.
My boss, Prof. Kobe Mensah. You know, Prof was my supervisor, my PhD supervisor.
Wow.
He's the one who actually trained me.
To
so,
God
Prof,
be the glory.
All the respect, sir. The greetings to Dr. Smart Sapon.
Yeah.
I don't know, but I feel that yes, when you look at the trajectory and the narrative surrounding, the current state of the MPP. Obviously, I would believe that they would need someone who has, that capacity to unite the party in the first place. That is very important.
I see.
And I want to
Wadama, save that for me, please. Young Konuchi Kakra, and I'm a China dos Kakrama.
Because you come from
Because there be prof na if in the camera for one.
Questions are not examining and prof.
Best of Fachame, young Kuchi Wadama.
How was it prof in Timin country?
Okay, go ahead. Okay.
Prof, what country you today was the prof start here and say prof one eka.
How about your Debbie?
Etine ya make you know question here say ya share the akoso ewo MPP abakose mu efiri efie baako na minu echi be ya ehun ni ese omo epese omu yi obi a obedi partner ni mu a yedi kan no em say party no agitum party before agitum party ma enso agitum say wo mu hia obi a obetimi amanka bomu ni biakoye aba party awe no enya dia ye disie em say ye di hu nkoma bebre enu nti no em say enokura ka hu bi na ma MPP for eba beye omo ba be yi omo franka tufo busun we awie ye so aye memene da die
yeah
em say ehu hia so ahunti say party no bi a obedi party n'anim a said the tie no mo nhyehyɛ tie no me say eye obi a obetimi di nkabom aba party no me say wa hwa even kra no agrofo bebre aka sɛ wo hwɛ enkomodidi akoso aprobo a akoso wo ebra flag bearers no anase flag bearer aspirants no omo mo pese omo tu franka de ma MPP party no omo aprobo a omo kona utie omo nkasa mu a enu omo chitafo a enkrofo bebre e ka sɛ emsem papa mu kakra because ebi mu nkasa na kwa it said the omo wo otan bi ema inipa bi no so enu nti ukan Michael Quayle so report ni kakra me say eno so edan edi pefie enu nti nkabo mu no yade a edi kan ehia ye toso emienu ye say me feel say MPP party no emra na MPP war power from 2017 to 2024 no me ade ba kwa me hu yini say party no ankasa no na ene presidency no aban no na amana kese da wo nkam well nti me feel say eno ka hu bi na ma ye baaye no baaye me say party no efiri bekumu ba no okoto sa amenani na presidency na executive no so free defender no ono so kokoto sa amenani so ahu now it means say MPP ko yi obi a omo mpe obi a say nyankopon ya adom na say party no eba power omo obetimi aka aban no on the government any party nankasa ya abom that one is very important apart from uniting the support base of the party. I mean there shouldn't be a difference between the governance of the party and then the governance of the state. I was saying because it proved baby was a president who said no when you be a name party in the year and until you want to maintain a home now may no want mine now on theater party no anymore yamso so and until omu here will be a obetimi asɔ party ni mu na ɔyɛ president ɔne party ni nyinaa etu anamu na party na hia deɛ ayɛ na hia deɛ party no asɛm ayɛ na asɛm na party no ani suo nso ayɛ na ani suo eti saa deɛ a sɛ na ani suo ade mu sɛ ɔpɛ sɛ ɔbɛbɛyɛ ɔmanpanin ne nsa ka na sɛ ɔto party na didi mu a ɛno no ɛmoa party no ɛkwan biara so ɔho ɛna ne titiri koraa yɛ sɛ party mpanimfoɔ nankasa mu nso no ɛde wɔn nsa ɛbɛsɔ president no nsam na ɔma tenetene no because deɛ yɛhu no yɛ sɛ eduru baabi a obi aba bɛyɛ president no party no ɔde ne baayɛ no emu mpanimfoɔ koraa ka asɛm a ntie
yeah.
ɛno no yɛ one other issue ɛm sɛ prof aka about governance issues no ne n'asefoɔ but adeɛ baako a me nso mepɛ sɛ megyina so kakra ɛyɛ yɛfrɛ no sɛ the personality of the flag bearer, which is very important. So medical can be a unifier, but the title will be also the charisma and can equally control and move the base of the party. I'm talking about Mekasafa Ubia Ubetimi or sa Elimunyama reference Ubetimi Akasa Trempo for party supporters, party achita for Okasa no Mudiachi, na Omaneko, because say we or kind before Nese Wachita for Okasa, na Umugu Okasa and Mutia. Actually, say when you can or kind before Papa. So, and we here will be Wachita for me. Who bet me about Woman, none of my day, Ako Osa.
So you mean, Doc, you mean, say, a family now, for example, be a match abaneri, nebia your opponent, no, or man almost support to a mono, our normal support to a man to a man, you'll be able to mobilize all of them, say, Odomo Coco, and a person.
No, I don't the medical can only unification.
Okay.
I don't hear and Cabo Mundo Edia. So,
yeah.
By way, Ubia, or no bet me a shame crime. Party supporters no bet me a show crime. So, now a bra in more than crown, or show moon crown say, Umiam Nianquayanim. So, a bra, Ebia, Ubia did them crana, with me eternity. Case, your home, na enche, Nankudima Ebia. O ka in crown, she send me actually party no. I'm a party name, Insun Kumbi. So, na oma basem ankwan kudu amana mroso so na se eduru abato 2028 a obi se me na me nto aba ma bitifie me wumi fufu adi e na wo pese me koto aba ma de e bra baji me fufu ene wo ma me wa ma mi sika me nko wa ntwa me lorry fa me nko da bi so we here leader onunti obi kura betimi di ni sa tu ni gotom se ne faka na makuru makwakoto aba I mean you know President before time.
Yeah.
So what you say? You know President before time. Those days you see fleet of buses be loaded from Accra, Eko Kumasi, Eko Ashanti region, Eko the northern parts of Ghana. Akwa Tuaba. You buses are if you the northern part of Ghana, if you Ashanti region, if you Puno region, Eba Greater Accra, Eko Western region, Akwa Tuaba. And you'll be on the Momo Lorry Fair. So what you say? But they say one farmer says, well, we are adding.
Yeah.
And there was an MPP now here. Bet me, Ama Sa Adiano, a party no etimiat this in Kunimos.
Okay.
Ubia when is Wadim and Niswadim Ankasa. Ubia when is Wadim ma party. No one is Wadim Hunudima of mine because San Oman anyway. Omoya yonko omonanti ebom omoda bom so tias enunti se buko akoyi leader na se woni ani suade hu na se wono de ayampia nkwa na bia obetimi ato ono no ne kasa bia nheda nya nkrofo de wontimi nhye nkura woni ani suade hu na ase bia o man kwa hunye mu a obetimi asori agira ne nanso akase ye yese ya ene de o man be de ebesi yie so baby a Ghana ye mpuntuo aduru ye hia enipa bi saa because se wohwe normal ekoso ewu wiase na ye friend is saying wo kind for wo president no oha ne amane bebeto o man no na se ontimi enyina ne na solution ana anuye amfa ma ene ese ne yikurekuremu kwa so enuti e wo se enipa kro no a omukwa akoyi no oyi obi a wani so aduhu oyi obi a se asem to o man no bi a ono no betimi agina. I mean, obviously Ghana your problems nyina basically your friend is issues relating to the economy, and I like it. Emra Prof can say ye here will be a or no innovative no many but the person they can get no say not just innovativeness but will be a or no so etimi a creative. I'm talking about a creative person so and a problem solver will be on timi edgene bopo bi woni tirim edi tudwa ema se wodi tudwa na se ye di hu dwuma eno so etimi so abapa bi di ma oman ni nyina sa nipa no eya de a esese se delegates no so ehwe se sa nipa bi sei na obetimi aboa oman no ewo oman no echichiri.
All right. Thank you very much, Dr. Tutubuahi. Doc Jinasumami, we've lost Professor Smart Sapon, but Obesan Abba. So let me go back to Professor Kobi Mensah. So, Prof, Ute Sena Yikase, Professor Tutu, sorry, Dr. Tutu Ekase, Yehia Obia, New Patriotic Party for Omuhia Obia, Obetimiden Kabomu Abba. But judging from how they are running their campaign, we show Omachita for an same example, you take Abronye DC, I mean, day in a day out, try his best to come out with an expose. Or Kabibidia or Canada, Japan. Now, Osaka said he wouldn't have time to go and campaign for Canada, Japan. If say almost a candidate. Then you flip it back there, you see Ernest Owusu Bempa, NPP communication, deputy communication director, also saying that I'm showing a lot of things about Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia to the extent say Dr. Bawumia also apologize to President Mahama and all that. Dear Kosui, you as a political strategist, do you think say upon everything can that person still unify your friends, say unite party no ama omatimi akwa kudim? Would that be very difficult, I mean, task?
Smart is on the line. I think Smart is on, but that's fine. Let me quickly, because I have another meeting.
Okay, no problem. They whispered into my ears that we've lost Smart. That's why I came back to you. So,
okay.
Professor Smart Sampo, I'm very sorry. We'll come back to you. Just, I mean, hold on for me, sir. Thank you very much. Sir, proceed for me.
Okay. All right. I think, of course, I made too much fancy, but sometimes it doesn't flow.
No problem.
It's easier for me to speak English. I'm sorry about that. Okay, I think that, if you follow politics, what they're doing is no different. I mean, politicians, internal contest or even the bigger contest, they come after each other. Yeah. If you look at, during the last elections, I mean, our president, President Mahama, and then, of course, you had, Vice President then, Bawumia, who was the candidate of the MPP. From time to time, they sort of had a banter with each other. Yeah. But of course, it wasn't as rancorous as what we're experiencing now. So I'm saying that if you follow the character of political campaign, it is no different, But of course, when the more you say that, the more you arm your opposing party with the kind of rhetorics that you put together. So sometimes you want to be a lot more nuance in your approach, of even going after your candidate. I mean, I think that the last election, it was much better than the current MPP primaries.
Yeah.
The way they are going after each other, it's very hard. I mean, it's hard politics. It's hard political campaign that sometimes some of the words, really. But I want to say that bantering in political campaign is no, different, in terms of regime by regime or even across, countries. If you go to the US, it was worse, the attack, for example. And even then, it's not only the candidate attacking each other, they have what we call PACs, all right, political action in the groups. These groups, they really go after, candidates that they are against, and they protect candidate they are for. So it's a kind of staple with political campaigns. But of course, the more you throw those things into the ring, the more you arm the opposing party, come the next election. And so you want to be mindful of that. But I would say that it is no different. It's something that is a staple within political campaign.
I see. So we have doctors, we have engineers, educationists, economists, and all that. So NPP will choose a flag bearer before the National Democratic Congress choosing their flag bearer. Sometimes we do comparison. You've seen the people that want to contest in the National Democratic Congress. So you, if I was to ask you one person that you think that would be suitable for New Patriotic Party, who will it be?
You want me to commit? I'm not saying it. I think the supporters of the political parties have heard what the candidates have said. They should go ahead and analyze them and see the most suitable for them. That's what I would say. All right. And I have my meetings, so I would have to go. So maybe Smart or Bernard can give you some leads, but for me, I'll stay out of that.
So, right. Prof, thank you very much. God bless you.
Thank you.
For being with us. So, thank you very much. Professor Kobe Mensah, political marketing and communication expert and CEO, Ghana Tourism Development Company. Say thank you very much. Now let me go to Professor Smart Sapon. Professor Smart Sapon is a senior research fellow, Kumasi Technical University, and executive director at Feedback Africa Limited. So thank you very much, Prof. Baby Ababeduni Saturday, New Patriotic Party for Bakwakoyi, a flag bearer. Yedina Yashe, baby, and Roma Aircon, catching. Ye tidi ebusa no flag bearer bay and afi say sisia and prepare a bit me aboa mo. I'm not talking about nipa no mu gina, but I'm talking about say okay, all right, I'm told say yeah lose Professor Sap okay. So this is the digest. I will live on Kesben TV, DSTV channel 364 and Go TV channel 121. Today we are watching what kind of leader, and as a flag bearer, a bit me a New Patriotic Party. It's not about the personality, and you'll be a name the leader, or bit me a New Patriotic Party. I'm a sad deficit, about 6% deficit, or bet me over 10, I'm a NDC, and as the opponent, et me a deficit, I'm a capture power in 2028. A leader obeti me mobilize omuni na ama obia bibi ehye ne bubia no etime afri ne mu na otime ade ma kwa community power. Let me go back to Dr. Tutu. So doc, now we can be fa unity ho na me busa Professor Kobe Mensah. Now wo hwe ensem a enkofo eka power party ni mu campaign ye grow enkofo ho enkofo timi ka say we are trying that yɛde ne ba ɛde adeɛ biem no ɔbɛka wɔyɛ liar on sem fata yɛde no ne tribe ne religion na no yɛde kutia ne ade yɛtimi fa candidate bi ne yɛka kyɛ ne sɛ 7 praduasa ɔto akokofunu ɛwɔ tema ɔno so no the one who need the one or can say basa center left and right. Do you think say party debate me united? Apart from side the Pamio, Dr. Baumiane, Canada, Japan, Omumuno, Ombetime United Party, baby, equi. If Baku Baba, Sabera.
Yes, it's I'm from a training to us. So,
yeah.
Auntie, let me say, the Hiano, any dear son, there was a party, no, a share no be kind. In your two breasts, I say, and Kabumuno, a badia. Let me say, I was say, but now, said, they're not. Professor, I am here for me as a phone. Ushe, Amanama, Mina, Amayosem, any commitment can be about 1 minute as a phone. Let me say, a idea, the time. So, Ushe, even Ghana, ha, and nominate as for you. But said the old kind, do be nowadays. I could be nature with time for answer. Say, only na onfa and tomorrow new swam. And until na you will be near Casse. Sir, as a bina, and Profubia chassis come. You can't be for a blue baby say, a young pro, young tumor, fee and fan saying. Yes, I'm a fan said, yet. Seven bread as a wabble at the jack swam, not in a number bonds and so. Eminti nanka say efisem enye ntomago nti untimi nsi hata bontinti no asem bia ede ifin ebebre party de dia nimu ase ebebre party ema party simfiase na apepa na nimu nyam sa sem nanka ye kan fi but na akwa yese enipa bi akuma mu no madwene mu ene said ye omusi ehu omo ho no omo first okasa kasa no mo kan le be ma party mu ayi enyesa
yeah
em say before ni Ghana for ye wo yamamere so ene ya hyenso enti yanko fa wo bi say ready asa ayi amade efa me mekate yam na yakase bia ye pese ye ti say asmis titi mu no se de na bi se wo ye pani nesa akwala akra na ye ohina wo de kubu ye de e ma
yeah
ena de edi ho nso eye se a friend is saying wo ye enia na wo hu say you better so
yeah
say be bread yes say peni anka say year say be your friend peni boni ana akwala nso so anka say year your friend akwala boni
yeah
so enunti ya mamere mu no obuo eye ya mamere no ye ahyenso de ba ko a ye wo enti anka party mu de say wo ye peni a akwala no emom aba be di wani mu no so do you be guide e man na fa so when no ebeka
okay all right
ena say be predia akwala nso so e wo party na say wo ye peni a wonso so okrakra ho na wano ampa nkutia mpenimfu a e wo ho esa ebeka say tumi ni kura wo ena wo de ekoku enkrofo na unfa ibu ema mpenimfu no so utia ndeyi a wamamu na ede but mame enka sem we focus me canon honesty I just want to be honest you know with the new party so let me say Yura Canada Japan a compare yenim said you sit here so but say it would be say attack upon one second because in 24 elections metimi aka emphatically say ɔkeka nsɛm bi ɛwɔ mmerɛ a na ɔmo kɔ akɔyi frankatufoɔ no ɛde fa yɛwura abawunya ho ɔkeka nsɛm a ɛni sɛ nka wɔka so but ebi ase obiara wɔ nnompe ɛwɔ ne ntaadeɛ so ɔte ase obiara wɔ nnompe wɔ ne ntaadeɛ sɛ wokɔ na akɔkɔ obiara de gya saa no a na ha adwene and in politics sɛ wokɔ keka nsɛm bi sɛ a ɛnyɛ nipa no na agu ne ho fi o wo party no nso ka ho bi ɛno nti ɛma NDC foɔ enya campaign message, a very strong campaign message against the MPP. So it is. Make a step if I ask you. But se kudi kurana, and kurana was en kana wo pomodi say. Ube kurano maybe soon na what me edibu yes. Yen msenki bisi voa. I mean, thank you to ye see ye wani abronye ye see ye e wo KNUST campus. I mean, it wasn't good. Yet, so, actually, almost started flag bearer campaign in some year. Kasentri numune in some way, a beba bontene, minasipone, nasifwa audi to that. But the other before say, 2024, Ubi ame, Obeka Chirem said, Dr. Baumia, any dim who menen saa nipa korɔ no ɛnhyɛda ɛnya adwene kyerɛ sɛ nipa bebree ɛna mo die mu a mo so ɛsɛ akɔpɔ brada sɛ dia ɔkandifoɔ no a ɔno no edim anim a mo kɔpɔ na hoɔden ɛnso ɔkɔn no ma mo gye kyerɛ da ɔkɔn no na asefo no amusu no ni yɛ de na asefo no ɛdeɛ na ɛsɛ sɛ mo yɛ eti sɛ mo anyɛ na say bia etuo ka okandifo no a uti anye ya asa won so muntimi nwane nkofie now the make ama na akwa kosi ye say sa enipa numu a mo fantastic elections ya ebe so we in Japan efri mu a hwan na oni aban hwan na ya nka ne ho asem say waye bibi the tia party nama improfo abu eni so even papa yes for maka even papa obi betimi aka kire me say ni su ene ne ban bi ama party achitafo ebu anfu so obia ye bidi obia contribute to the defeat of the MPP. Look, the last one was what happened with the Senate issues. Okay, one in charge. And people have argued strongly on the basis of the free SHS issues. So placement security people have said it.
Okay.
Ghanaians cried on this issue. So what is here? Electricity contracts people talked about it. So and SML, why na ya obia money point and why na I expose the MPP party. Not the nipa ba ko pe match kire sa ni so awu ni na e de akwa akwa.
All right, thank you very much. Dr. Jansuma Misiana, I'm introducing Dr. Peter Tepe is also a policy analyst, policy and political analyst, has also joined us. I'll go back to Dr. Tutu, but let me engage Dr. Tepe and Famarakwa. But Doc, and your Babetuni say ye can new Patriotic Party, Yami Aduma Saturday, and on Wukako flag bearer. We are looking, say, we share new Patriotic Party, say, baby, a party na Ababedru, CCA. Now share the modern one National Democratic Congress government able all the economic indicators. Now we also after the last election, the gap between the two parties, almost 6% deficit and Yasam Ketuakra. 1 year we haven't heard anything bad from National Democratic. So STCCR, the question that we are asking is Saturday, leader bear now fees obey me what kind of leader or a flag bearer? We are not talking about the personalities, but a flag bearer bay and a leader bay, and a say NPP folk could choose obetimi over 10 all this deficit with the midst of the resilient economic indicators in there, you can still win power for the party. Hello, Doc. Doc, unmute your set for me, please. Yeah, Doc, please unmute your set for me. Hello? Hello, Dr. Takwe. Please, Mr. Onsako come mute, no. For Onsako mute, no, ma'am, why? Unmute your set for me, please. I'm saying, Doc Entiminka. So let me go back to Dr. Tutu. Now I say, Doc Bar, Yadene Ebesan Basisia, NPP presidential race, the kind of leader needed for a 2028 comeback. It is not easy at all because Nipa 5 ne kwa kopreno ubia sefata. Why character? Why ne okut or charismatic? Why na owu se sia wo ye calculation no a NPP for the never sisi a emfa ho no de NDC for ebeye emfa ho no ba bi economy ni ko emfa ho no gab edem se nipa no enkofo be hwe no ho do e de akwakoto aba e de ama new patriotic party a ometimi asa come back to power in 2028. Still have Dr. Tutu. Now make our say we are live on Rekesben TV, DSTV channel 364 and Go TV channel 121. So I'm told that Dr. Tepe is back. So, Doc, thank you very much. Hello, Doc. All right, we are having challenges, Dr. Ayubeba. So, my main engage Dr. Tutu. So, Doc, na ye can, and not one who goes to an hour leadership and what's any idea. But ye can see no the yeka leadership no say this without talking about the national executives no. The national executive a dear role and they should play to make sure say the party no, apart from the flag bearer no the nebana e be obe na so be united party no. What role should the national executive also play? Hello, Dr. Tutu.
Yeah, Patrick Menka.
Yeah, but so Kapana me say yes. Apart from the flag bearer, no will be you know. To say okay, say ebia you be here obi obetimi a united party no. I'm obi adi the differences a good from no. Apart from that no. Apart from no, the national executives so I tell who say entawantawa wo mo ntem na obi belong to we fashion we belong to we fashion ni adia. Dear no betimi almost betimi aye e de aboa the flag bearer no say the bear say unity no e be complete.
Tina me ka say ansa na me ba sa asem no so. Ma me e de na me ka so na me fa eno so emrem. So the American here say look with regards to the party unity. I was say send people no independent free medical can other platforms say omo shase any omo ehun enidi nkomo no very important ni ehun say omo ashase any omo di nkomo ama yehun say minasipo bia ehye ohu obviously say we share on the day of the peace partner omo sign peace partner uhu ye so and people raised issues about it. And obviously it's because maybe Akosua, one, Dr. Baumia is not happy. Two, Canada Japan feels okay with whatever he has done. The other aspirants doesn't feel remorse about anything that they have said about Dr. Baumia, which for me is not fair. So, whatever it is, the best say, no, listening to Kwabena Japan, to a large extent, and I was happy with his positions and the things that he said. I feel that I mean, now Omo MIA who said, obviously, Omo a nipa baako. So, party ni be nipa baako pe. And I'm putting an act for the Casa. I mean, Emro Mukoko yi, Professor Duguay. Oma no a competing na Dr. Sebi Munen as if woman na Ubia Fabia Asha Oma mobilizing Crawford Eddie Omokoy, Eko Journey, Professor Duguay camp and Nasif. I think that one is very important. But me, based on your question, what's a more beside? Said the first thing as a party no say again the attempt after the first say omo be sane aspirants ni nyina assign atnasi na omo ene o makasa na ubia de group remember akwa wo bia enipa kro no bebi no edi mu e wo say wo bebi ni wo bebi we say party and to a large extent, you know, a party in for I said, yes, say, almost any impact, almost any woman to my one now, or my Juma, I'm a party, no, I won't come. Yeah, a toss so a message, so I can't say. And for I can say, party no in Benin for no. To me ikura omo hoden e wo fom kakra eno nti no omo hyemu ekena esi fom omo nkoko enye din omo ma so enye din so na e wo se omo hu se wudi nipa dom anim a enye bibia na abaye enkrofo bebo omo sam aidan ama se de etie bia no ubetieti ankrofo na so so ti weti ankrofo na so no aye ka no e ho na se so hu se wo ye dwuma pa so almost on authority. Now, the media says Omudi, Emma party no enya Nichina Biano, Omonye, Momo, Enyan Pepe. The Tosso, say, Omo make sure say, Omo bedin Nukre. So, Omo bedin Nukre, Edia, party, any Asumfa, or party, any your friend is a party, a chitaf winner. Ukredie eye say obi ye bibi na ono one come master ni pa fufro akako ye akon na yudi kan ye we say wo de me no e wasem eno de say wo ye sa na papa mu e na wo de ye dey wo de ba party
okay
yes
yeah just sad we say de bia na e me wan wa say adentina say ye internal politics yentimi nka ade a me ba metimi aye because ene na me gidi say delegate ekoto abana ya na omope obi apese ohwe kwan ya befa so a obetimi win election de ama ono no party no but adentina na sometimes omutimi jai eyo no omotake personalities na later ebeba be do omunya. I remember that nobody knew say Professor Mills had an ear swab problem until Mr. Spiel Gabra said it on the Poland Watches program. Nobody knew, set up Oyare and all that. And Saturday did Dimwa, added to your copetumia internally. Yentimin said the party in the community beba say a clean campaign, Munye say, but over Shano, na omo ye campaign wa attack personality be amfa ni bibia 7 previous say because we call personal Canada bia e dey na man basa. You as a political science lecturer, tell us e dey na man basa.
Ose I don't know say when we be we are ese se ntokwa funu wa
na to akika
na to akika uti ade yi a wo be kwa kofa tete huro ana aso kwa kofa mu akwa. So I mean, in a state of confusion, I mean, that is what happens. It took a fact the flag bearer beer or no one can say, "One shed the minimum." And I wouldn't the oil. I mean, that person will just talk anyhow. So, and my political experience, I'm able to say, Ubia Ujina baby, Ekasa, no to Ayampia, would be Crawford terminal as for me, one said any political message.
Yes.
One said any political message. Ni asɛm obetumi aka ama na atɔ nkurɔfoɔ etimi ama ɔmo ato aba ɛde ama no so I feel strongly that politicians should learn some of these things. Platform a wogyina so akansie a wokura mu ɛno na asefoɔ no ɛno na ɛbɛkyerɛ nsɛm a wobɛka ɛde sɛ deɛ wobɛsi ayɛ wo nɔɔma ɛde afa. So now you are going to vie for a political leadership position like the first gentleman of the state, and you decide to speak anyhow, right? You decide to soft, you decide to expose, people. It only means that you are exposing your weaknesses, so because we are president, and Crawford begin in confidence. So that's it. And we are can assembly to was mono. Now, sorry, Eddie Ababi Jina cameras and media for him. Then you drop it there. How? I mean, it doesn't work like that. So, and it doesn't also mean we are politicians. Now, first gentleman of the state. To me, a crowd now was his asset in Parliament. Doesn't work like that. And so, that high level of emotional intelligence, that high level of tolerance, that high level of emotional stability, very important, for people who are contesting for the highest offices, in Ghana.
Okay.
So,
Okay.
I sure said, make sure that you have compelling messages. Make sure that your message is able to identify. Make sure that your message is able to create some level of awareness around you. Make sure that your message communicates that level of honesty, and that kind of trustworthiness. Ghana for and as a woman for expecting from you. And these are very, very important.
Okay.
But before I don't also need to follow so much of what your followers, are demanding from you. Obviously, you could see that in the previous administration, certain key MPP people took offense, with what happened. Because of that, they want to hear what they want to hear.
Yeah.
And the Assemble will be the car, a bear exposing the previous administration. That's what they want to hear. I keep saying, oh yes, I'm also to me what the same party. And what if you get it? What are you going to do? And these are serious things that the party must look at.
All right, thank you very much. Dr. Tutu Boahin Bernard is a political science lecturer. So, Doc, said just maybe a few minutes. Now, engage Dr. Tapam told say the line at Tutu. Doc, I feel what you mean. Yeah, me too. So, Doc, the NPP presidential race, the kind of leader needed for 2028 come back. You share the economic indicators, see how powerful the economy, how resilient economy ababe. Now the gap between NPP and NDC about almost 6% and all that. Now, Ushenipa 5 year. I'm not talking about say Obobo Bidinemu, a dear leader no mu here, and pay dear leader and NPP for here. If says economy could never be a that person will be able to find a way. I'll bet me arrest the power at the New Patriotic Party. What kind of leadership are you expecting them to elect?
post President Mahama,
Yeah.
a leader or high level of emotional intelligence. Obia, or very highly tolerant. Now, look at President from President Rawlings, President Mills, President Mahama, President Kufuor, Nana Akufo-Addo, President Akufo-Addo. Look at their demeanor. Look at their posture. And you can tell which of them is tolerant, which of them high emotional intelligence, and how their governance has been. So, what Ghana needs, our democracy is still growing.
Yeah.
And so we don't need somebody who will use a style for president that have already advanced. Because our democracy is not at that stage yet, whether we like it or not. A democracy that is about 200 years, 100 years, and over. You can't compare with ours, especially with the continent in which we are in.
Yeah.
So what they need now is somebody who is very sound emotionally, psychologically, and highly tolerant. If President Mahama is that vindictive type, and can by this I'm for but look at the way he has composed himself and is leading. That is what we want. A leader who understands that the economy is just not what we want, but it encompasses 360-degree leadership lifestyle.
Yeah.
I mean, demeanor. Obia. Obetumi di omaine anymore. Whether the person has economic background or not,
Yeah.
the person will show strong leadership. And you'll be a only hope. Say President Mahama can say, if you have not been president before and you are talking to exercise patient,
Yeah.
if you look at what MPP is doing now, President Dienu, and
Yeah.
you are come to lead the whole nation.
Yeah.
People with different understanding, different attitude. Why share your over cabinet and you'll be throwing blows? Because people, human beings are the most difficult people who live. Moses, at Israel, poetry, Egypt. Look at what he went through. At the end of the day, because of the people, but to me and Drew Bosch and so. So you don't need put anyone. You need some level of high tolerance to be able to lead, especially as a president of a nation. They are campaigning, some of them are campaigning as if they are in the national election and a campaign against their opponent.
Yeah.
And I keep asking myself, do they know that they need each other? Because some of them are behaving like after the election they don't need the other party. And it's strange. I mean, it baffles me. Internal election, we have monitored and witnessed even when they were 17 candidates. You remember?
Yeah. 2006, 2007.
The election was not intense as what we are seeing now.
Yeah.
I kept asking myself that, but this is a party full of intellectuals. So we cannot exercise that intellectual restraint, knowing that whatever we are saying, you see, NDC, any over the opposition, other parties, they are just gathering all the things you have said. And after the primary, they will release them one by one.
Yes.
Depending on who wins. So you are giving them enough weapons, and they are happy with the weapons that are being provided. You just left power. You lost election so massively. You are going to have primaries. Instead of you to put your house in order, you are campaigning as if you are in the national election, campaigning against all your opponents to become president. I don't understand. It's like the party has become like some people are uncontrollable.
Yeah.
So whatever they say, they can say it and go away. So you have people singing on radio, other networks, saying things that even their opponents wouldn't be afraid to say.
Yeah.
I mean, it's mind-boggling. So this is the kind of leader they need. They don't just need somebody who will say, I just want to create jobs. I just want to stabilize the economy. I just want to do this, I just want to do that. Ghana needs a leader who is very decisive. A leader who will work with human beings. Human beings, because human beings will disappoint you. People you trust will fail you. But you need to understand that so far as they are human, those things are real. Jesus Christ even himself faced it.
Yeah.
So those lessons are to tell us that if you're a leader, you should expect that your loyalists will fail you, your loved ones will disappoint you. But at the end of the day, it's a human institution, so you have to live like that.
Okay.
Other than that, I can assure you that they are not ready for power.
Yeah. Doc, yeah, sad we say. Your time na so, but yeah, sad we. We should be 5 na kwa kujina no. Engineer Kwabena Japan, Dr. Yawase Duchum, Dr. Brane Champon, Akompre Kwe Japan, and Dr. Mahmoud Baumia. Now we can see clearly say ya babe in between Dr. Baumia and Akompre Kwe. Omionu na jabi omo we supporters katia we katia we adia in some omo ka ofi say election it will definitely go against one in the general election. Now usho omo na do you think say party no package say omo mienu esi nchen na say outside the two no ba ko emerge a year flag bearer a Saturday. Will NPP still can be power with such a personality, and I say with their popularity, their fame, and everything? For example, Brane Champon, Dr. Brane Champon, Yawase Duchum, or Kwabena Japan. Can NPP win power with these three? It looks like.
In fact, I can say from where I sit that between Dr. Baumia and Honorable Kennedy Ejepon, either of them that wins, it will be difficult for the person to make any impact in 2028 because the kind of campaign that they have done, I don't think each camp will support the other.
Yeah.
I don't think each camp will support the other because you see, looking at what has been said, I don't know how they will look at each other and say, let's go together and go and campaign. It's like you have destroyed yourself to the extent that what are you going to say again? And so I wish it doesn't happen, but unfortunately that's what one of the two will win. And so they have to now start thinking of how to reconcile themselves so that they can move on. I don't see that happening though. I don't see that happening at all. But politics, anything at all is possible. Because it appears those who are, the elderly in the party have taken a backstage. And what the party didn't do well, that they should take lessons from is that they did not take time to nurture leaders to take over from them. So you see that there's a huge vacuum now. Gone were the days when you can say that as for NPP, there are so many presidential materials. And NDC, you can't pinpoint. Now it has 10. You can see people more that you can pinpoint in NDC now than NPP. It's a fact.
Yeah.
They have made the party, NDC have made the party more attractive now than NPP. It's a fact. So what FPP has to focus now on, how do we make the party attractive post 2028? Because with what is happening now, it's like they are fighting among themselves while NDC is busily working.
Yeah.
Meanwhile, you need to organize yourself for power. So if during the campaign, what are you going to say? The person you are going to contest with is busily working. Everybody, Ghanaians are seeing their work. And you are destroying yourself. Busily destroying yourself. And you say you want power. On what basis do you need power? You need to hear that President Kufuor said something, or Ka said, the core party members would never give any political party power. Floating voters. And he said something that now the Ghanaian electorate of voters has become very sophisticated. The middle and upper class are giving birth to 1, 2. Those who are at the lower level are giving birth to 5, 6.
Yeah.
They are the ones who are producing the voters. So if you are focusing your attention on the middle class and you are ignoring the lower class, I can assure you that you are putting your party in a very big trouble.
Yeah.
And that is what they should be thinking of. How do we make the party attractive for all those people to come into the party? Not thinking that the party belongs to a certain sect of people. And that is what MPP is doing now. They are making the party as if the party belongs to a certain class of people. Certain people only. Instead of it to ask themselves, how do we make the party open for everybody to come into the space? Unfortunately, they are not doing that. So for all of them who are contesting, I wish them good luck, I wish them all the best. But unfortunately, the top 2 runners, I don't see either camp supporting the other. Based on what I have heard them say, I'll be surprised. But many things I thought can happen in politics.
I see. That is yes, I do agree with you, because now me catch me bisa even Dr. Kobe Mensah say Professor Kobe Mensah na me bisa na say we share abronye DC asema waka wa say he wouldn't get time to campaign for Canada Japan because say almost say Dr. Baumia ono no nya sa time no ko kan kire nkofo say asesa Dr. Baumia the new one na abani yento abama no. It is clear that he wouldn't campaign for the person. And it's true that Owusu Bempa has also said it somewhere that who kwan obefa so be campaign dia ma Dr. Baumia say Dr. Baumia ewenia because Dr. Baumia has nothing to show. It won't kwan obefa so be campaign dia ma. So what you are saying is very, very key and very, very important, and it's very true. Say the question it wouldn't be easy for them to campaign for each
other. Just the last one.
Yeah, go ahead.
For politics, even if you have a bad candidate, you can package him and market him.
Yeah.
For you to win election.
Yeah.
So you cannot say you can't campaign for anyone. And you cannot say somebody who has been worse off. No. It's about the packaging.
Yeah.
So what they are doing, that's what I'm asking myself. Do they know they are going to contest the national election against another opponent? As if among them and national election.
Yeah.
That's the way they are behaving. As if after the primaries, it's the same only MPP people who go to the national election to go and campaign and contest and become president. That's how they are. I see them doing. As if that's what they are thinking.
Yeah.
As if they are not going to contest against any opponent. It's only among them again. So the person who wins definitely automatically becomes the president of Ghana. As if that's what they are thinking.
All right. Thank you very much. Dr. Peter Takpe is a policy and political analyst. Let me go to Dr. Tutu on your So, Doc, you also heard Dr. Peter Takpe. So, in this case, you know, reconciliation. Reconciliation. There be a reconciliation. Do you think say reconciliation will a bit me a year duma? Because last election, you know, we were told to say some people sabotage this. A reconciliation man kofobi edge to so be campaign the flag bearer. No. But later on, we heard that almost sabotage underground yeah there. But there, of course, we do things a reconciliation. Say the TBR still they can do a reconciliation between my
Oh yes, before say reconciliation in between me. It depends on the final first one. So reconciliation. So, say, oh yeah, now one approaching in ya, approaching your fine be. Take as a man or can. Do baby, I'm in any yard, do baby, so I'm in any yard. Baby, I'm in any yard. Say, or I said, yeah, MPP party into me and how more so we are say Bible say there is nothing impossible for another. The Tower of Babel. Enipa ka say obesi dan akosoro akosoro. Apa we ya akoya me na so na afi adina nyame fa ne say profi man sesa wo mo kasa anhwe yi ana ba bi a mete no mete ho anoma ba beto me. So anything e kire say nipa de wodi now e wom say nipa hodo bi wo MPP party maka say after 31st no you be win no say who nka no support no. And you see it is a serious thing because and same be nipa bi aka sansem no ayi wo mu fidie. Look, what I think to some point, Canada Japan, Honorable Canada Japan can say, only as far as Dr. Baumia is concerned, as far as he is concerned, Dr. Baumia doesn't exist. So, that is also that. It also even suggests to say probably he will not be ready to campaign for him. But I feel that you see on a more serious note, if we are saying a fan of war, you need unianum and a bassa so and therefore any woman yanum neighbor. So, but with me back that's no we dey send within the corner crana send pa no yi wa ma na mo ntem atete wunua bia woni no if you be proud so we would be fa ba ko that so right. Separation is not a strange thing.
All right.
Now I feel that for the MPP party to stand there was somebody say that level of unity, you know, they will go that length.
All right.
But almost that length, Nesse will be a party ness was saying. If you are saying, what mean? Now obey no maybe emphata. Him necess open a day, echoing.
All right. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. Your time as my the last 2 minutes in from Dr. Peter Tepe, yes, but Doc, that means say now Dr. Peter Tepe, Kabibi say. Jabs now, almost jabby or mohona. I know a day to the extent that he doesn't think that Ombetimia United, which no on Kwana Casas, a lot of people are saying, especially those are following the campaign, Killy, Mikrama because behind some no more canon, send a conformity investing all their passion and emotions into it now. I think that it will be very difficult for them to reconcile. Okay, so let me go to Dr. Peter. Doc, go say. I don't okay, Doc, my Dr. Peter. So, Doc, let me give you 2 minutes now. You have wrap it up this year.
Dr. Kituna based on what they are saying, you know, it will be difficult. But I said in politics, anything is possible.
Yeah.
If you do anything is possible in politics, based on their actions, that is where the problem is. And I'll be very much surprised, and it will be a case study, say, to me, coming together. If they are able to do that, that is a very big plus for them. It's difficult, but anything is possible in politics. And I will say that whilst 31st is just this Saturday away, I wish them well. they should remember that whatever goes on, especially their followers and the delegates, whatever goes on is power that they want. Honorable Afenyo-Markin said, opposition is painful.
Yeah.
President Kufuor said, ex-President Kufuor said, it is better to be a messenger in a ruling party or a ruling government than a general secretary in an opposition party.
Yeah.
So if they will take these two words seriously, then they will understand that looking for power is about unity, togetherness, and a common purpose. And that will help them. Thank you.
All right. Thank you very much. We, Dr. Peter Tekpe. Dr.